Welcome back to another edition of our daily market review. The market has closed again, this time the opposite of what we were looking for. Very, very bullish, closing above the previous day's high and then also above this fair value gap on the dailies here. Let me take this off. So quickly, let's go to check out the day trader. So this is where market closed yesterday. And the expectation of what I wanted to see was, I mentioned that when price opens, I want to see a break below this one and close, a break and close below this one to indicate and signify that we are now turning bearish after sweeping this liquidity level within the range. Okay, the range is the bigger one here. Let's see. So market ranged, and then I expected price to sweep out the upper side of it and then down to the lower side. The reason being that I am bearish from the higher time frame. Now let's go to the H4. Okay, so now given the current situation, you could clearly see that this is the dealing range I am playing with, right? And then price has heavily rejected, and then now we have some sort of consolidation within the range after this pullback, right? So what I expected was what price would do from here, and that is where we had this massive down move, right? Now, so what is going to happen now is this, because of the close of today's candle, this is going to be my next target, right? This move here hasn't been negated yet, but because this is a swing failure, I expect price to come back to take out this high. So tomorrow, I'm looking at this fair value gap that has been inverted by this candle to be used as support, and then target these high, this short-term high here, right? So this is going to be what I'll be looking forward for tomorrow. On the daily start, the H4. So you could see that price never came to close below that level I marked out. And so that negated the setup that I was looking for short, right? I marked out this inversion gap here, saying that I wanted to see how price will react after it takes out this, or perhaps this upper part of the inversion gap. Now what happened was price failed to close below and then traded higher, used this as support into that where I was expecting, held price for some hours and then began to drop down. This is where today I made a mistake. I was short, and so I was looking for the signature, right? The signature being that I needed this to hold and then price to close below this level, right? But however, I was away and was looking on my phone, so instead of the H1, I rather checked out the M15, which was the mistake that I did. So I treated this move here as the break of structure instead of expecting the H1 to close below this level, right? Below this level and then that level, right? this would have been ideal. Below this and then that. Right. That was the ideal setup that I was looking for. Right. But that didn't happen. And so I considered this here, right? This fair value gap here as a break, and then was expecting price to continue to the downside. But that was the mistake. I should have used the H1 because on the daily I am short, or on the daily I'm looking for bearishness. So I needed the H1 to confirm that. The H1 never did. All right. So this is personal notes that I am drawing my personal attention to. I'm drawing my attention to. Right. This is something I was expecting, but I didn't perhaps do what was necessary. So that's it. Right. So now, like I said, moving on, because of the close, the heavy close above this, I want to see price use this level as support for that. All right. So I would watch to see what price does once it pulls back. The H1, there's this near term channel liquidity here. So perhaps I'll watch to see what price behavior I get once we take out this. And ideally, it has to be a sweep into this. There's this gap here also. So a sweep into that. And then I would have to enforce the signature in price that gives me conviction that price is now turning to continue to the target that I have marked. This is going to be the near-term target, and then ultimately that's it. Right? So that's it for DXY. For EU, this is perhaps where, right? So EU on the H1 after the rejection yesterday in closing above this, I said I wanted to see price take out this and or perhaps this, and then we'll see how it goes. The price did exactly the same thing, but notice that price never came back to close above this level to confirm bullishness. We only drove to sweep it once, swept it twice, and then went down. But if price was indeed bullish from here, would expect price to close above the level and then use that as continuation to where I was looking at. Right. Okay, so check the daily close. Very, very, very bearish. Then also price has deviated from this fair value gap. Right. So this level here,